What is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Pixmarters here, and welcome back to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. When we left off, we are inside the courtroom. And Professor Layton has actually kind of joined us because he gave us the Grand Grimoire as evidence after used in court, because it wanted to bring life so much more fucking complicated every single day that we get new shit in here.
I don't know how he got it, but he did.
If I remember correctly, Miss Mystery said, let me know, and I'll let you in there so you can take a look. But she's like, I never let it leave.
Yeah.
And ironically, she's let it leave for the first time ever.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
unless they stole it.
We're in the courtroom and we're having trouble because this isn't the regular world.
Nope.
This isn't real life. This is fantasy. And we're caught in a landslide.
Oh my god. There's no fingerprinting here. Yeah. So.
No, there's no anything we're used to. There was half-baked terrible terrible buns, Barnum? Terrible puns, Barnum.
You're gonna say buns parnum.
Forensic science does not exist here. Instead, this is a world in which witches and magic are accepted as fact. Truly fascinating.
It's like D&D.
All right, now I've got the scepter added. And I was like, holy shit, what the heck, this bullshit.
Let
There
Phoenix
are just
swear.
way too many things I don't know about this world.
He just... What? Luke looks so concerned.
And Layton's just like, I've seen this a million times, I'll assume. Mr. Wright, I believe you may be able to take these things you don't know and use them to your advantage.
He's like, how?
The Inquisition believes there's no room for debate on this matter. The accused clearly attempted to conceal her magic. Better luck next time, Sir Apprentice Baker. Mayhap your next loaf will not leave such a bitter taste in our mouths. Now then, my lord, I believe it is time. I ask that you render your unwavering verdict.
Objection.
That's going to take some getting used to. So is this.
Yeah.
Pardon the interruption. May I have a word, Inquisitor Barnum?
Why is it versus Phoenix Wright? We're on the same side.
That's just kind of the way that things, that those things always work. I mean, it's like,
I guess.
It's fucking Marvel versus Capcom, isn't that the thing?
Yeah, but that was a fighting game, so that makes sense.
You know what? Joke's on me for that one as the comparison, but it's just what everything does, you know. Anyways, what's that? Who might you be? My name is Herschel Layton. I am a friend of the accused. Inquisitor Barnum, please allow me to confirm what you believe happened on the night of the crime. You claim the witch's scepter was made to disappear through the use of magic, is that correct? Indeed, through the magic spell Demir. If possible, would you mind providing proof of this particular claim? What? You claim the scepter was not seen. Indeed, that is one possibility. However, a wise man must always consider every possibility.
What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? Can the Inquisition fulfill the request presented by the gentleman with the unusual hat?
Did you just call me a fucking idiot? The Inquisition cannot honor this request for proof. If you're asserting that the accused is not a witch, then the burden of proof lies at the feet of the defender. Come on, it's a Inquisition's job to prove that a crime was committed. As I thought, indeed it would appear the accepted method of thinking in this world differs greatly from our own. A regrettable, Sir Apprentice Baker. And you, Sir Dark Hat.
Dark Hat. That sounds a lot cooler than Sir Apprentice Baker. What?
All of
that.
Barnum, sir. Should I acquire it, I stand ready to lend my testimony.
Would anyone care to purchase any pre-testimony flowers? I've got a lovely array of bewitching lilies.
Snowy and I will not be dismissed so easily. We came to expose the identity of this witch. Isn't that right, Precious?
Let me go.
Okay. Oh god.
I'm trying to remember what the voice was because it's been a second for me.
Kind of like the guy who was like the... No.
Oh
like,
yeah, I went to scepter. You said
Yeah,
yes, I know. Such a scepter allow me to elucidate the matter.
Whoa.
What do you think, Inquisitor Barnum? Your witnesses appear to have something to say on the subject. Very well. Most honorable witnesses, I grant your request to testify once more. Tell the court all you know regarding this Talia Magica. Well, we've somehow managed to keep the trial going. I owe you one, Sir Darkhat. Please, Mr. Wright. Mr. Layton will suffice for the time being. Why does everyone know my thoughts?
I forgot who said it, but
I remember we learned a long time ago, it's supposed to be like a very under-the-breath whisper for a lot of the blues, though some of them seem to never register in that fact, but hey, we'll let them do what they want. When I saw her, the witch was carrying a large milk bucket in one hand and a lantern in the other.
Well, good on the lantern hanging from her wrist. Her hand was contorted in a strange way.
I got a good look at her hand, and it looked for certain she was gripping something.
The witch was holding a scepter in her right hand. She did not drop it once before she was apprehended. Then why didn't she have it on her afterwards?
Yeah.
Anyways.
I see, the accused's hand was contorted in a strange way. Do you believe this is quite an important piece of testimony?
I saw it. I most certainly saw it. She was holding an invisible scepter.
We saw it too. It was the girl up there, without a doubt.
I don't know why I couldn't do her voice during the testimony.
As well, these old eyes don't see as well as they once did, but I witnessed the hazy, blurry form of the accused quite clearly.
He's so jittery.
Don't tell the court you're blind. My sight is as sharp as the edges of my trusty blade. It just ding, ding, doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
A toy sword. How fascinating. Although I wonder if he understands the implications of that analogy on his vision.
You're terrible eyesight.
So, Breaker, you may proceed with your interrogation.
Mr. Layton's giving me another chance. I can't let it go to waste.
All right. Cross-examination.
All right. First you, who was carrying a large milk bucket in one hand, lantern in the other. Well, let's talk about that. Maybe we can get something good out of that. The large lantern you mentioned is this one, correct? That's right. There's no mistaking it. That fiendishly fiendish form, with its case darker than the darkest of nights, that was a lantern. It's just a normal lantern. Why does no one speak normally around here?
What is this? It would seem the glass is shattered. And there seems to be a sizable amount of mud stuck to it.
On a closer inspection, it appears mud is stuck in the broken sections of glass. Most intriguing. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. So, I can potentially use. Do we technically have the picture in the court record? Of course we don't.
We
of course
still
we
don't.
That'd be so great to have. But you know, with the way it was, the lantern,
mud puddles.
So I'm gonna get super, because I mean, beforehand, you know, Phoenix Wright pointed out the fact of backwards fingers because they look at that much detail in this game. So here's my thought. You know, the lantern was wrapped around her wrist, like it just, you know, her wrist was inside the hook of the lantern. Is how they're saying she was holding it,
like a bracelet.
Now, the final guy's testimony, the blind guy, was that like nothing was nothing changed between that and when she was apprehended. But in the middle of this, she dropped the lantern. Even if the staff was invisible, because it being long, the lantern could have never gotten past the staff to slip off of her arm.
Yeah.
I think it's very weird. This is not the way of logic trips that Phoenix Wright games usually take. But I think it's going to be a theme here since it was made by a company that, hey, they deal in puzzles. So I think that's what we're going to go with here, is that, you know, the lantern could not have fallen off.
It feels more realistic than
if a scepter was hiding there, or if a scepter was invisible in her hands, the lantern could not have slipped out of her grasp. But
because usually when we have this line of thinking in Ace Attorney, it's wrong. Yeah,
or usually it's a lot simpler answer than that. They usually don't deal in complexities like that. It's very much someone says something and we have a single piece of evidence that says that's not it.
So
this is more.
This is actually correct.
So if this is correct, that means we have to get a grasp on how this game works in the future. But I think that's the point of that. The lantern could not have slid off the hand if she was holding the staff, because staff would have blocked lantern fall. Most intriguing.
So then, what exactly did the lantern get? How? When? No, when exactly? Why did I stop? I don't know. So when exactly did the lantern get mud all over it?
By the way, witness, you also saw a milk bucket, is that right? That's right. Indeed. I would bet my sword on it. In fact, take it from me so I can get a real one. And yet that milk bucket mysteriously vanished from the scene of the crime. How many times must I say it, Sir Apprentice Baker? The problem is the Black Lantern. You are correct.
The Black Lantern sounds like a tavern name.
It really does.
It sounds really cool, actually.
All right, hanging from her wrist. It was contorted in a strange way. Let's talk about that. She had the lantern hanging from her wrist. Are you sure?
Of course was so.
Oops, wrong one. There we go.
That wasn't it. And how else would the girl manage to hold her invisible scepter?
Ma'am, please just testify about what you actually saw.
We just said what we saw. We just said that's what we saw. Isn't that right, Snowy?
Indeed, a handle as wide as this could be easily hung from the accused's small wrist.
Yes, that's what we were telling you. Isn't that right, Mummy's little snowball?
Well, at least it's not crying anymore.
Yeah.
It's no good. We're all bent on assuming Espella was holding that scepter. It seems it may be best not to pursue this particular line of questioning any further. Well, that's just super. It's fucking great. It's wonderful. You can hold her hand and look for certain she was gripping something.
Hold it!
Anything. What exactly was the defendant gripping? That's the wrong thing.
Whoa.
Don't mind me. I was trying to click, but I clicked on the wrong part.
It was... that's right. It was something cane-like. What's it called? A witch's scepter? Yeah, it was definitely that.
You sound so sure of yourself. Bitch, please. Whoa, wait, Miss Kira. You didn't actually see it, did you? Witness? This cane-like object, was it perhaps this? Roughly this size?
Oh, why yes. It was exactly that size.
It's no good. We're all bent on assuming Espella was holding that damn scepter. It seems it may be best not to pursue this particular line of questioning any further either. Well, that's just super. Again. Yeah, which was holding the scepter in her right hand. She did not drop it once, or she was apprehended. Now let's talk about that, buddy. You're ruining everything for yourself. Are you by chance of a wizard? Anyways,
A wizard.
let me get this straight. There was no way for you to see the invisible scepter. To see this invisible scepter, was there? Well, now that's common sense, boy. One cannot see what is not there to be seen. In that case, there was also no way you could tell whether or not she might have dropped this scepter. Well, these old eyes of mine owned it on her hand like a hawk until they couldn't see straight. The young lady was most certainly holding an invisible scepter in her right hand, while at the same time also carrying the lantern. Or do you perhaps possess some piece of evidence to suggest that she dropped the scepter? There hasn't been any evidence so far to suggest Espella was holding the scepter. Evidence suggesting the scepter was dropped? Now, this is an interesting idea. Huh? If Espella did not have the scepter in her hand, it would have been impossible for her to have used any magic. Well, yeah, that's true. I don't suppose. Might there be a piece of evidence that could prove this? Something to prove that Espella was not holding the scepter at the time of the murder.
Yep.
In other words, evidence to show that even if Espella was holding the scepter, she would have dropped it.
That's the lantern, like you were saying.
Is everything all right, Mr. Wright? The truth about what happened in that brief instant would likely decide Espella's fate. I have to do everything I can to find a contradiction in these testimonies. Guess I should take another look at the court record. I assume it would just be the lantern that I'll push, especially since the first guy addressed the fact that it's broken, because we really don't have much to go off of. The only thing we haven't really, where we can't look at it, but case outline accused, Espella Cantabella. Charges, use of witchcraft to burn 2 male victims alive. Well, why don't you take a lantern and shove it in your face?
Nice.
There's a high probability that Miss Cantabella was not holding the scepter. But if for the sake of argument, she had been holding it, she would undoubtedly have dropped it at the time of the incident. What do you mean? What I mean, Inquisitor Barnum, is that this lantern proves the defendant was not holding the scepter. What foolishness are you spouting, Sir Apprentice Baker? The lantern's handle was around the accused's wrist. Objection. Exactly, motherfucker. Meaning she could have held the scepter? I'm afraid that's not the problem here, Inquisitor Barnum. The problem is with the broken glass and the mud plastered all over it. What? The rain had ended just as the murder was taking place. That would make the path fairly muddy, don't you agree? When the thieves grabbed Miss Cantabella by the arm, the lantern must have fallen into the mud. The lantern? Oh shit. Fell into the mud. What the fuck? What's mud again? I mean, what?
Why, of course, that makes sense, doesn't it, my little snowy worry?
Oh my god. Anyways, well, what do you say, Inquisitor Barnum? If she was holding the scepter at that time, that would mean that when she dropped the lantern, the scepter would have fallen along with it. What's going on? Inquisitor Barnum seems speechless.
That defender's managed to turn the thing around, even though he's just a baker.
No way! Pay the witch's accomplices no heed. They're just trying to trick you. Barnum! 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 Anyways.
That's just, what is this?
Hold it! Oh, one moment, please. Yeah, she hasn't been saying anything this whole time. Everyone, please listen. Didn't we all just stand here and explain to the court what we clearly saw? It's a lantern. So what? What's so special about it? Explain it to me so I can understand.
What do you, well, what's so that you can understand? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious just by looking at it. Mr. Wright? What is Mr. Layton? There's something about this witness. Are you the witch? Miss Kira, was it? Tell me, Miss Kira. How good is your eyesight, exactly? Oh.
Huh?
As you just heard Mr. Wright explain, the answer to your query is quite obvious at a glance. Tell me, are you able to see the mud present on this lantern?
Mud? What mud? What are you talking about?
Your Honor, did you hear that just now?
Yes, indeed. What does it mean, exactly?
It means that Miss Kira's poor eyesight is the reason she cannot see the mud present on this lantern. In other words, the validity of Miss Kira's testimony is questionable at best. Hey, Layton, can we talk for a second? Yes, what is it, Mr. Spiky Hair? Number one, Phoenix Wright. Number two, that's kind of my thing you're doing. You literally did the bap and the point. It's like literally my thing. I kind of like copyrighted at this point. I apologize. I'll stop.
Oh, just
Well then.
Am I Akira, Kenny?
What in the court? What is the meaning of this?
What say you in your defense, witness? I recommend you give us nothing but the truth.
I'm sorry, Inquisitor Barnum. It's true. I need to wear glasses. All the time, in fact. I was kidding, but like...
You need to wear glasses?
Oh, now that you mention it, I did notice something odd about you today.
I thought you looked familiar. God is the mist that clouded my mind in its place. Clarity. Fair maiden, a pair of spectacles are as valuable as a shield to a knight. Make haste and produce another pair.
Procure.
Now then, Miss Kira, tell me, at the time of the incident, were you wearing your glasses? I'll take that as a no.
No, I was not wearing them. The truth is, I lost my glasses a couple of days ago.
You lost them? So our glasses were missing during the time of the incident. Mr. Wright, might I recommend that you keep note of this fact? It could prove useful later. Got it. Okay.
Here, as poor eyesight and...
Oh, sorry. I mean, we can go back to it in a second.
Am I to believe there's nothing left to prove on this matter?
Well, let's talk about that.
Kira's poor eyesight and wears glasses, but she lost them a few days before the incident.
Okay. That'll be relevant somehow.
Yeah.
At the time of the murder, the accused did not have a witch's scepter in her possession.
Oh no.
Wait just a moment. Snowy and I have much more left to say.
And me. That's right. My trusted sword of justice shall cut through this witch's treacherous lies.
I may have lost my glasses, but I haven't lost my will to testify.
You've lost all credibility. Wait. I remember now.
She just ate the flower!
Oh, there's just a way of sneaking up on me. I'm sure you must understand. Yeah, I understand. I understand. You're all completely ridiculous.
She ate a flower.
You seem we have not yet arrived at a clear-cut verdict.
I mean, I know some flowers are edible. Hopefully that one was.
Witnesses, you may once again begin to testify to the court.
Collapses in 15 minutes.
Oh no.
Tell us about the scepter and how it was used in the detestable display of witchcraft that you all witnessed tonight.
Oh boy.
I'm not used to a same night trial like this.
Yeah. The girl was not holding the scepter in the same hand as a lantern, which means must have been her other hand, the milk hand.
Yeah. The accused is holding a milk bucket in the court illustration. Who's to say she wasn't also holding the scepter in that hand?
Oh, God damn it.
That milk bucket is lighter than it looks. Even Snowy could carry it, so she could have easily held the scepter as well.
I did not see this milk bucket. Everything felt like an illusion.
Okay, buddy. Lay off the shrooms.
Maybe that's the important part. I don't know.
The scepter was in her other hand, you say? Indeed, such a proposal is feasible.
We figured it out. Close out the case.
Sir Baker.
Yes, Your Honor.
It is the strangest thing. The longer this trial goes on, the more you begin to resemble a legitimate defender.
Oh, huh? Really? You fucking asshole.
Well, no matter. Defender, you may begin your interrogation.
It's a hell of a way to put the cross-examination, but
Yeah.
interrogate them.
Well, he's been saying that this whole time.
I know, it's just interesting.
Because there's no terminology for this kind of thing back then.
Yeah.
Or in
All
this
right.
world even.
It was in her other hand.
Let alone
You sure
back
about that?
then.
But did you actually see that with your own eyes? I keep hitting that button by instinct because that's the press button and then I hit the go button. Alas, Magic's final embrace hid the scepter from my sight, so I did not see it per se. However, through my years of nightly training, I have learned to see through such cunning trickery. Is that so? For example, this morning I found myself unable to locate the whereabouts of my trusty blade. Its location was a mystery. So I tried my hardest to think and remember where I would have kept it last. And before long, behold, it transpired. I was carrying my trusty blade in its scabbard all along. Life is riddled with such trickery.
Hi, Maya. It's been a while. Would you say life is riddled with trickery, Nick?
Only if we're talking about my life, Maya.
Oh my god.
Only if we're talking about mine.
That was a canon lie. Kids holding milk bucket in the correlation say she wasn't also holding a scepter in that hand.
Hold it!
The court illustration. We can look at that quick. That's right. Judging by this sketch alone, it does look possible for her to have held the scepter. However, if you actually try holding that thing, you notice just how thick it is. No way could she have been holding it.
Yeah.
That is nothing more than mere speculation. You cannot say for certain that she was unable to hold it.
Well, there would be like a space.
You say speculation, I say it's a fact. There's just no way Bella could have been holding that thing. As expected, this testimony is filled with nothing but assumptions and conjecture. Mr. Layton. You know, Mr. Wright, there does not appear to be any usable evidence present on the court illustration. Yeah, I agree. It does look that way. The milk bucket ended up disappearing from the scene. Could that actually be an important piece of evidence in itself?
I'm wondering about that.
I assume that means this was going to be relevant to us right now.
The bucket's lighter than it looks. Even Snow could carry it. She could easily hold the scepter as well. Snowy looks so sad.
Just 1 second, Miss Mary.
Well, what is it now? Snowy and I don't have on lights, you know. Come on then, out with it.
I just have one question regarding your testimony. How exactly did you know that the bucket Miss Cantabella was carrying was light enough for Snowy to carry?
Oh. Well, you see, the girl always uses the same bucket whenever she comes to buy milk from us. Naturally, I would have seen that bucket countless times before.
You've seen it countless times before. That doesn't answer my question. You specifically said the bucket is lighter than it looks. Miss Mary, at some point tonight, you must have held that bucket yourself. Now then, please enlighten us as to exactly when you got your hands on the bucket. Mary?
It's true. By that time, Robs and Bugs had already been burnt to ash. And then I noticed the milk in that bucket that the girl had been holding in her hand.
The milk?
Then when those two went up in a blaze, Snowy and I made a dash for the bucket. As the girl stood there looking confused, we took the milk from her to make sure it was okay.
Huh?
What?
Unbelievable. Witness, you...
Ah! Well, it was just so wasteful, the thought of all that disgusting ash falling into that precious milk. I felt I just had to protect the milk, so I took the bucket back to the farm with me. Madam, she bought that milk. Now, do you mean to tell the court that you took evidence from a crime scene back home with you?
Oh, shit. That explains why we weren't able to locate the milk bucket at the scene.
Oh my, you're scaring poor Snowy. Yeah, I brought the bucket with me anyway. See, I didn't even tamper with the milk.
I'm sure you didn't.
The court shall accept this milk bucket as evidence.
Okay.
The milk bucket Isabella was carrying at the time of the crime, Mary brought it back to her farm.
I mean, the only thing I'll note is that instead of it being a rope bucket, it's a wooden bucket. There ain't no hand to hold a scepter in that.
Yeah.
You can't hold a scepter with that bucket that is right there present to us. Huh. Looks like that's one more piece of evidence for us.
Now, the gentleman with the impressive beard proceed with his testimony.
Oh, I thank you. I appreciate it. I've been growing this for 67 years. Alright, I did not see this, but I felt like an illusion.
Well, we know the milk bucket exists, but you didn't see the bucket.
Indeed, naturally, there was no way for me noticing the witch before the crime occurred. My mind was placid as the most placid of placid lakes. But like the early bird on its morning hunt for that elusive worm, my senses remained vigilant.
You do realize the other witnesses have all testified to have seeing Miss Cantabella carrying that bucket, though.
And when you have journeyed as far as I have through life, you'll find all is but an illusion.
What the hell, dude?
That is, except for Lord Storyteller, of course.
Oh my fucking god, you lost your mind. That's it for the testimony. Still, something is bound to be there. I can't believe Mary took the bucket home with her.
Miss Mary must be one of those thieving forest wolves we've been hearing about.
Let us hope she doesn't eat like a wolf as well, Luke. For her Snowy's sake.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, that's a great point, but I've got this new piece of evidence. But the question is, how can I use it?
You know, looking at this milk bucket now, it does look sort of different from the sketch, don't you think?
Absolutely. It might be a good idea to get a nice good look at the actual milk bucket. Which I did, thankfully. So he's doing that thing. Must have been another hand. But no, we'll see if the other one's say wasn't holding a scepter in that hand. That's the one we're going to use. And we're going to present the evidence against that next time.
Oh boy, this is a thing.
All of these witnesses are getting more and more interesting and aggravating at the same time.
I was going to say irritating is a word.
Yeah. Kira's fucking blind. The old man's senile. Mary's a fucking milk thief. And then homeboy over here is a wannabe knight that's literally holding a sword from medieval Walmart. Like I said, he's fucking doing it for real.
He's delusional. All these people are delusional in their own ways.
And Barnab's just like, you all are the people my fate lies in. I fucking hate you all.